Should I stop using fingerprint lock for unlocking my device and other app lock? I don't know if you have a different opinion, but I would say I encourage fingerprint locking whenever possible because of two things. One, it's very easy to disable. I would definitely like memorize the way to disable it really quickly. It depends on your device, but it's usually just like holding the power button or something to disable it if you need to. But otherwise, it prevents you from entering your password in public all the time. And especially like if you share your PIN or password among other things or have like an easy to recognize pattern, the amount of like just surveillance cameras and other cameras in public spaces and even like private spaces like stores is ridiculous nowadays. So I would be more concerned about if you're worried about any kind of risk when it comes to like finding your password, I'd be more concerned about people shoulder surfing or cameras picking that up than the risks of fingerprint locking. But
Right. And
I
there,
think we're in agreement. I think you've said that before in other shows, but maybe you have more to add.
right. I actually, you take a stance. I don't really take a stance. There were those iPhone thefts. Actually, that story has an update recently too. So there was the iPhone thefts that were happening that we covered on the Techlore channel, where essentially people were at bars. It was happening to people mostly in like bar environments in nightlife and stuff like this. But they'd be on their phones and someone would be behind them and watch them type in their password. And the moment they got the password, they grab the phone from their hands and leave, steal the phone, and pretty much because they knew the device password, they can actually reset the password to their Apple account and lock them out of their Apple account entirely. So all iCloud, photos, everything, they'd be locked out of it, and they also couldn't track their own device because that's through iCloud. And so this was a big selling point to using something like Face ID because then you're not typing in your password in public. But this was a main thing. Like there was actually lots of reports of this happening, and it wasn't just a one-time incident. There was dozens, if not hundreds, of people impacted by this. And Apple recently, here's the update to this story. Apple recently now requires a biometric um, authentication in order to change your Apple ID from your phone, and it was acknowledging this issue, I believe. So
Is that true, or is that coming out in iOS 17.3?
maybe it's coming out soon then. But all I saw was the update. I didn't see what OS it was tied to. I wouldn't be surprised if it's
What
coming
I
soon.
saw, my memory, I'd have to look at the article, but I thought it was opt-in and it's coming out in the next update. So I think it is still a
Got
flaw
it.
that exists today,
Got
which
it.
is ridiculous to me. I mean, that's a huge flaw in Apple devices, I would say.
Huge flaw.
Um, that they took so long to address. I mean, that was like the beginning of this year, I think, when the reports were coming out, or maybe even late last year. I don't remember. Um,
Right. Well, I think it's the
Pretty
limitation
ridiculous.
of how Apple sees their security, which is they trust themselves and the device itself to be secure, which is kind of a
Hmm.
fair assessment to make because if the device itself isn't secure, then like what else can you trust or count on? But it's kind of insane how a device password is what you need to reset your cloud password.
Right.
That's just insane. It should be the cloud password to get into the cloud account, not your local iPhone password. I think it's crazy, but I don't really know. I'm sure they had some reason why they opted for that system. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I agree. Thank you for clearing it up. So I guess we'll both have to look into that. I assume you're probably right, though, that it's next update and it's not out yet.
Yeah.
But
Coming soon.
yeah, I will be opting into that right away.